My name is Amy from AJC Magic TV. I'm going live as I share the Disney merchandise that I had picked up while I was in Disney World about 3 weeks ago at the end of June. The first item that I had picked up was one of the new Disney Parks t-shirt, as you can see. They're pretty much gifts for some other people. But this one features highlights of some of the popular rides in the Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom, as you can see. And then I also picked up a 2019, it's kind of hard here, 2019 Disney t-shirt. I usually like to have one just to mark the occasion. And this one features the icons of each of the parks plus a couple characters on there. Another t-shirt I had picked up, they have like a big wall of different t-shirts and different logos and designs. This is kind of like one of their retro type of design or sunset type of thing. Yeah. I figure I picked this one up for my mom because of the color and just kind of a whimsical type of look with the kind of rainbow, almost the yellow, orange, and purple Walt Disney World with Mickey on there, plus the color. Most of the parks or even the World of Disney, they have a main store like on Main Street. Of course, everybody knows the Emporium. They have a big wall with various t-shirts and everything like that. And there's all kinds of stuff. There's one that says my second ride is a monorail, or they have various designs of the Walt Disney t-shirts like this one, or with the 2019, or even the different Disney parks, or just different sayings. This was one of the other types of things. My sister likes the Beauty and the Beast, and I picked up these tea towel sets. Keep forgetting to give it to her when she does come by or if I see her. So she likes the Beauty and the Beast, and the one features the one song from Be Our Guest. And then this one has, of course, the characters of Mrs. Potts, Lumiere, and Cogsworth on there. Since it was fairly hot out, and as you're walking around the parks, I also usually had frozen bottles of water and stuff. And the one night I was like, we were at Universal Studios. Hello, Duke Family Chronicles. Thank you for joining me today. And the one night I was over at the Magic Kingdom, and I was just kind of looking, and this cooling towel is fairly nice because it's not as thick as some of them other ones that you see, like the Frog Togs or anything like that. They have more of a rubbery feeling, where this is more of a cloth. You wet it, you wring it out, and then you kind of snap it, and then it has the cooling. It does stay pretty cool fairly a good while, but you do have to re-wet it throughout the day. But it's not as like, since you have the foam type, some of them are like a more foams type of thing. Plus this is easier to fold up and put back in the packaging. And actually it was a fairly decent price. Unfortunately I don't have the tag on there that actually say how much it was. I think it was a little bit over like $10 or $11, and I thought it was a good buy. They also had a pink one with Minnie on there. Yes, they're very nice. Actually, I can use it around here. It's not, I can fold it back up, put it back into the little casing, and it does give you the instructions. I thought it was a fairly good price, and since I became a pass holder for this trip, and since I have a few other trips up on there, I also got the pass holder discount, so it made it a little bit more cheaper than than the uh, than the regular price. The one night I had seen these on another stream that people had, and I thought, oh, if they still have them, I'd like to get one. But it's a Doom Buggy figurine, and it has the ghost host voice, and then you can see the hitchhiking ghost on there. So I really wanted it. I like the Haunted Mansion. It's one of my favorite rides, and with it having the different sounds, so I ended up picking it up. According to a couple of the people, they actually had lowered the price from when they originally had them out. So yeah, you can actually find this. I got this at the shop that's right by the Magic or the Haunted Mansion. I can't the Madame Leota's shop, but I also seen them around in a couple of the other locations. But yeah, it's pretty neat, and it'll make it a nice touch at Halloween too. So I will be putting that in with a lot of my other Disney collectibles. One of the things while we were down there, I do have a cousin, and my niece actually started working for Disney a year ago. We were able to go to the Cast Connections, which is kind of like the Disney Character Warehouse, but it's for cast members and their families, because then they actually get the merchandise even a little bit cheaper than you would find at the Character Warehouse or even in the parks. And they actually started getting in a lot of the food or the flower and garden festival, and I picked up the one of the Spirit jerseys. I didn't really think I would ever get one. This was $14.99 plus, then we get the cast member discount on top of the $14.99. I know the Character Warehouses had these in their stores, and they were going off the shelf with hotcakes. And since they actually had my size, this is an extra large, and I thought, well, I live in an area where I can wear it in the winter time, but this is the one where you put a little zest in your fest. So I figured, well, that's a pretty good price, $14.99. I believe they are normally $60 these days, a lot of the Spirit jerseys. In fact, when we were at the Cast Connections, they actually had a lot of Run Disney merchandise from the different marathons, the Princess marathons, and Star Wars race, and stuff like that. It was like, ooh. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff was more tank tops or the sports type of shirts, but they had some good bargains. And I also noticed in the Character Warehouse videos that I had seen, we did try to go to one of the Character Warehouses when we first got there, but it was a Saturday afternoon, and we really couldn't find any parking spots, and we didn't really want to pay because we were just kind of looking to pay to park. There are certain spots now where you can pay like $3 an hour or $3 for 2 hours or something, and we just decided, well, maybe we'll come back another night and see. But we never got back, and since we went to the Cast Connections, that sufficed. But yes, it was a good find. Thank you. Another Disney merchandise type of shirt was a Mickey Mouse polo shirt. I actually have a gray one I wear all the time at work, and since they actually had a size that I can fit into, I picked up one. It's green with a gray Mickey Mouse on there, and they're comfortable to wear like on a Friday at work or even during the summertime here. I live in Pennsylvania, the western side of Pennsylvania, close near to Pittsburgh. But it's a very nice shirt. And I really like the gray one. I'm starting to wear it out a little more, so every once in a while I will look through what type of polo shirts and stuff. A lot of the shirts when you're at like World of Disney or even in the Emporium and stuff, I know with the t-shirts you can pay $24.99 for one, but if you bought two, they offered them for two at the price of $22 each. In fact, I think some of the shirts might have been $29.99. So I usually would try to find two shirts that I like, or if I knew somebody else that might want one, I would get that. Some other things when we went to Epcot, I definitely I actually got the pins, but I'm going to be doing a pin reveal video because I bought a few pins while I was there. Plus, I'm going to bring out some of the ones I already have. But I picked up the Magic Band, a pin, and the Illuminations Christmas ornament to have for Farewell 2019 Epcot World Showcase of Illuminations. So, and I really like the Illumination show. Really, my first trip ever to Disney World was when Epcot first opened. And, you know, they had different variations of Illuminations. And then, of course, everybody knows in 1999. Hello, Arjons. Thank you for joining my stream. I'm just kind of revealing some of the merchandise I had bought about 3 weeks ago at the end of June from my Disney World Orlando trip, because we did 3 days at Disney. We hit the Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Magic Kingdom. But then we did some of the other area parks of Universal Studios, the Islands of Adventures, and also SeaWorld. Another find that I found at the the Disney Cast Connections was this Mickey Mouse Animal Kingdom beach towel. So I picked up one. I do have a rather big collection of Disney beach towels, and so one of these days maybe I'll set out and do a video of all the Disney beach towels I have, because I have a fairly good collection. But this was one of the finds that I had picked up while we were at the store. I usually look at the beach towels. I know even in the various gift shops and stuff, if you look around, they'll have the beach towels, and you can buy them one for whatever price, and then they usually will have, if you buy two, there's like usually two for 25 or 25 each, or two for 20 each. Just depends on what the special is. A lot of times that's how they, instead of just buying one, you could save by buying a little bit off of each if you bought two. So maybe if you have multiple people and you guys like the beach towels or something, at least you're going to save some money. I always pick up a set of pins because I have coworkers, or even some of the kids in my youth group, or even just other friends. I usually will buy multi-packs of pens or maybe pencils or something, and then I just give them out as gifts. And that way I'm just buying one. This particular pack costs $16.99 plus my annual pass discount, and that way I'm not paying individually for one. I can buy a whole pack, and I got right there 6 gifts for people that use a lot of pens, and then they can pick their favorite character, or I just hand them out. However, this one actually has Chip and Dale, Goofy and Donald, Minnie Mouse, Mickey, and just various. So a lot of times if I'm looking for gifts for people, I will buy the multi-packs and pens. They like pens. So that's what I end up doing. The other item at the Cast Connections, they had My niece actually bought these before we actually got down there, since they had them, was one of the Banshees that they had sold when they first sold them down at the Animal Kingdom. I guess they were getting a new batch of them in at the Animal Kingdom in the Pandora section. I kind of looked at it, but I haven't really brought it out of the box yet, just because I wasn't sure. But this one is a orange killer Banshee, as you can see. And I'll have to read the directions and see how you actually operate it. But I kind of just kept it in the box for now. I know she ended up picking up 2 of them. One for her family. They decided to keep one instead of keeping both. They asked if I wanted one of them, and I said, hey, sure, because that way, you know, they don't need really 2 of them, but they'll have a bunch of other ones. A lot of other things too. This past trip too at Disney World, we did not stay on property, as my sister has a timeshare air play. Yeah, I tell you what, the Character Warehouse and the Cast Connections actually had those at a very good price. I believe it ended up being, they were down to, I think, $26 plus the discount. But, yeah, so, yeah, I'm not sure how much she actually paid for that. Sorry, I keep walking off the screen. We stayed off-site in the Lake Buena Vista area at their timeshare condominium complex. And it's actually right outside of the entrance to, a little bit right up the road, but outside the entrance to that Hotel Boulevard, which leads to Disney Springs, where there's like another road before you get to the entrance of the Disney Springs Hotel Boulevard that we go down. Hello, Chris, Disney World Adventures. Hope you're enjoying your vacation there. Happy Saturday to you, Chris. Thank you for joining. A lot of times we would just take that back road, and the one turn that you turn off, it'll take you right to where the Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside, or if you actually keep following the road, you end up back behind the Magic Kingdom, where the cast members actually park and take that road up that way. A lot of times when we stay off property, we do end up doing other parks. And since my niece works for Disney and my cousin works for Disney, we also like Universal Studios, because one of the things, we've always gone to Universal since it first opened, and we've been to SeaWorld, and so we hadn't been there in a while. And my niece, since being down in Orlando working for Disney, she hadn't had a chance to go over to Universal yet, but she was going to be getting her annual pass, so she got an annual pass, and we just bought our tickets through a company that I work for. And so we decided, plus I got to see the original Harry Potter section, which is the Hogsmeade area, and the last couple of trips I was down, I didn't get a chance to get over and see the Diagon Alley area. And my sister and her family, they were there for Halloween Horror Nights, but didn't really get to enjoy a lot of the park. So we did 2 days at each of the parks. We ended up starting on the Islands of Adventure side, and did all of those type of items. And that's the one thing I didn't bring out my wand. I actually picked up a Harry Potter interactive wand, so we could play with the different things that they have in the windows, that you make different things move, like one where the plants move. Or I know in Chris's stream yesterday, there was the umbrella where you could make it rain, and you have a family member stand under the umbrella, and then you kind of do the thing, and then it makes it rain. And then we just did most of the parks. It was pretty hot while we were down there. Of course, all the Floridians or anybody that's in Florida knows that it's fairly hot during the day and stuff. The Universal part, when we, yes, it is really neat. That was something I had seen on some other streams and had heard about, and I decided I would like to get one. And I usually do try to go to Universal, even though I'm staying on Disney property. I may sometimes my cousins will pick me up and we'll go over, or I've actually bought a shuttle ticket and gone over for the day, and I usually get the park to park so I could kind of hit the highlights of each park. We actually had the park to park tickets because they had the special where if you bought 3 day or 2 days, you actually ended up getting 3 days free. So we had 5 days that we could have went there. Hello, Greg. Nice of you to join today. I was just showing some of the Disney merchandise I had picked up while I was in Orlando at the end of June. This was one of the cooling towels I had bought one of the days. I know when we were over at Universal, my sister picked up one of the Avengers ones, I believe, or Marvel she had picked up. This is a kind of a nicer material, and I know the one she had was really nice too. And I also picked up some pins. I'll have to bring those out at another time. Just some of the ones I was kind of looking for, and to add to my collection, and gonna get out some of my other ones, and I'll feature all the ones that I had picked up and everything. Just trying to, that way you guys can see. This is give you a better overview, but that's some of the merchandise. That's the cooling towel. There's a fairly few different shirts I had picked up. And then this is a tea towel set. My niece likes the Beauty and the Beast, so I picked that up for her. And then I had picked up the Magic Band and the Illuminations, and I also have the pins that I had gotten from a friend. Okay, Chris, enjoy the Men in Black. And then I got a polo shirt. I picked up the Spirit jersey at the Cast Connections from the Flower and Garden Festival. Can't beat the price when it's $14.99 and they normally sell them for $60. And then this is a couple of the other t-shirts I picked up. This one I picked up for my mom. It is kind of like a peach pink color. And then I picked up like a 2019 Disney, and then one of the Disney parks that features some of the popular rides. And then I got a Banshee for my niece who picked it up at Cast Connections. And then this Haunted Mansion little Doom Buggy. Now it doesn't want to work. Sorry, it's kind of awkward. I don't have you on like a stand or anything. It's kind of like my first live stream. So I do appreciate all of you joining. Please like the stream and share out if you like. I'm not sure how much longer I will actually be on here. I just wanted to kind of feature the items that I had picked up while I was at Disney. And then I did pick up some snacks. Of course, whenever you're there, it's always pretty. I always like to get like the goofy snacks, or my favorite place is in Japan. A lot of times I like, sorry, I went and sat down, and of course everything's like lower, so I'm sorry. I had picked up these at the airport because my dad kind of likes the coconut patties. I do know that they, hello Perfectly Cat, thank you for joining. Please, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe. Please hit the like button, the thumbs up button. My dad likes these coconut patties, and I actually picked these up at the airport, but I know since we were staying outside some of the gift shops that are along 192, we actually stayed in Lake Buena Vista right outside of where the crossroads and the entrance to Disney Springs. I know they do Disney style ones like these with Mickey heads, and after thinking about it, I probably could have gotten them for about the same price as I paid these. Since I have an annual pass, I decided to become an annual pass holder because I plan on coming back for, of course, everybody knows the Galaxy's Edge and some other, possibly at Christmas time or in the, like, whenever the food, um, the Festival of Arts or the Flower and Garden. But yeah, so the coconut patties, my dad likes that. Now I know with my annual pass discount, I can get the Mickey Mouse head ones, and they're just the same. This is just made by a company that does make them here in Florida. They're in Florida. I also pick up, this is like the Goofy's Candy Company, but this is the actually a Toy Story themed one because I actually bought them in the Toy Story, but these are licorice circles. I really like licorice ropes, so that's like the closest thing, but they're licorice rolls. Since we weren't staying on property, but I know when I do stay on property and if I'm on the dining plan, I usually will use some of my snack credits at the end, and I bring this stuff home, and depending on what it is, sometimes I give them as gifts, bags of the candy, or I give, or just have them for my own snacks. And that's if I have a lot of stuff left. The snack credits, if I don't use it, it just depends on the time of year I'm at Disney, whether how I use my snack credits, or if you even end up having, I know with the quick service, I know my last trip when I went last year in July, at the end of July, I actually had a quick service that I ended up using and getting three snack credits, and I usually will pick up the Goofy's candy. And of course, I love these, and who doesn't love a Rice Krispie bar from Disney? I picked up the minis chocolate with dipped in chocolate ones, but you can also get the plain ones, or they have other ones with M&Ms and stuff like that. I was just kind of, this was like the last evening when we were at the Magic Kingdom, so I just grabbed these and figured I'd bring them home. I only grabbed 2 of them, but I already ate one of them the other day. I just can't resist them. But they're one of my favorite snacks to always get. And then of course, I always like to get the different candies in the Japan Pavilion. These ones are like a marshmallow filled candy with chocolate inside. Haven't tried them yet. I will be. I'll be sharing these with my coworkers at work. And to see what they taste like, I guess if you like marshmallow and chocolate, that's what these look like. And my mom likes gummy, she likes the gummy peach, so I picked up these Japanese peach gummy candy. And so we'll see what those taste like. And they are gluten-free, as you can see, so if people are looking for gluten-free snacks, this is a fairly good one. I've had different ones before. They have other flavors. Hello, Dole with Dad. Thank you for joining. Please make sure if you are new to the channel to subscribe and hit the like button. One of the things I had seen one time, I believe it was Cargo Stream, Donna had sent these to her, and they looked fairly delicious. And it's called Caplico, and it's kind of like an ice cream cone type of item. It's from the Japan Pavilion, and it looked pretty good. I haven't tried it yet, so this one's chocolate, and I picked up a strawberry one too, and it kind of has chocolate and strawberry, as you can see. but it's called Caplico, and it's in like an ice cream cone type of thing, and it looks like a marshmallow type substance, but it makes it look like it's an ice cream cone. And they do have smaller versions that you can buy in a set too. I had looked at different ones to see, but this is the type of items. And I pretty much then I also just picked up this little set, kind of like a sushi set, but this one's hard candy from Japan. Last year I bought a different one that had like different soda flavors and stuff. It was kind of hard to read, and I usually ask the cast members, like, I don't want something that's like gingery or something weird flavor or whatever, but this was kind of a nice set. And they also had another set that had like the little mixed candy, and I kind of like sometimes at Christmas time where they have the hard Christmas candy type of things. And then making my way around the world, of course, a lot of the areas have snacks, and I've seen other people. The other place I like to pick up snacks is the England Pavilion in England. But these are Jimmy Dodgers, which is like a biscuit with strawberry jelly. And when I was in England a couple years ago, that was a big thing, is like the various biscuits. And I've seen other people get these, and they're called Jammy Dodgers. And I believe I've seen Disney Dan also talk about these at one point. And they're pretty delicious, and like I said, I've gotten them actually from England itself, not just the pavilion at Epcot, but they do sell various candies and snacks, and this is just a bag of gummies that I picked up. But they also sell, and they're pretty tasty, and the different biscuits. They also sell the Walkers, chips and Walkers. Actually, their cookies and stuff too. Sorry, I'm just kind of moving that so we can see better. I'm not actually a tall person. I'm only about 4'11". So, hello, Joshua Wilkins. Thank you for joining. I was just going over the merchandise and snacks that I had picked up while I was on my Disney trip at the end of June, and finally got around to deciding how I was going to do it, whether I was going to do a video or a live stream, because I never really went live from home before, but I just decided to go live, because right now I didn't see anybody else really in the streams out at the parks or anything, so I just thought I'd do a quick stream from my house. I live in Western Pennsylvania, close to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and most of the time around the year, a lot of my videos, if I do get down to Orlando, I try to do as many videos, or even try to go live. I went live twice while I was in Orlando, and the rest were like videos. So please check out the channel if you're new. Please subscribe, hit the like button for this live stream or any of the other videos if you choose to watch them. And leave a comment. I do thank you for joining. And also, around Pittsburgh here, we do have a local amusement park called Kennywood Park. And I know I have a stream last week. We went to get in line for their very new coaster called the Steel Curtain, which is based after the 1970s Pittsburgh Steelers defensive line was called the Steel Curtain. And I do have a video of the actual ride. Unfortunately, at Kennywood, a lot of that. Thank you, Dole Whip Dad, for joining. I do thank you. So I at least tried to get it as much as I could. But at Kennywood, they don't really allow you to live stream on the actual rides. So I try to do it as best as I could and show you what the actual ride looked like and what the park looked like. I do have a couple different streams. That's the local, we have a season pass there. And then I've done some on the incline and Mount Washington here in Pittsburgh. So that's the type of streams that I'll do here from Pennsylvania is some of the various things around the area. Yeah. And this coaster, it's pretty wild because you go up pretty high and it's a lot of inversions and corkscrews and stuff. It was very hard for me to film because the car just went fairly fast. But you're not allowed to video. I'll have to put maybe one of the POVs that Kennywood actually did and put it on my channel just so you can see the actual full ride of what it's like. Yeah, yeah, they pretty much, I had looked up one time, and even with a GoPro, they don't really want you doing that. They would rather you, if you want to see what the ride looked like or film it or show people, use one of their POVs. And I don't blame them because stuff goes flying and they can't really get it until the end of the day anyway, or you pretty much lose it. Something always happens there where people's cell phones go flying out of their hands or pockets and they lose them and they can't get them. Yeah, especially in these other, smaller amusement parks. Here in Pennsylvania, I live on the western side. There's Kennywood Park. If you go up north to Erie, they have a Waldameer Park. I'm hoping that my nephew and niece and my other nephew, if we'll go up to there and at least give you an overview of what it looks like up at Presque Isle State Park is what it's called, and Waldameer Park Amusement Park. They have a water park and a small amusement park type of thing. And then there was a place called Conneaut Lake Park, and they're still trying to recover from like bankruptcy. Like a group had taken it over, and they're slowly rebuilding that. And then if you go out east, of course, there's Hershey Park. There's Hershey Park. There's Dorney Park. Then cross over into New Jersey. There's Six Flags. And then there's a few parks in between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia area. There is a park called Del Grosso's Amusement Park. And then there is, I can't think of what we've been wanting to go to it, but now I can't think of the name of it. I'll have to, I'll remember after I get off the stream. But it's kind of a smaller amusement park, but they have some really neat rides there. Knoebels Park is what it's called, Knoebel Park. I did see at one time that Paging Mr. Morrow, he had gone there while he was back home. So he was showing a couple of the rides. They have some neat rides. If we ever get out to Lakemont, where it's the home of it's up in Altoona, Pennsylvania, and they have a park called Lakemont Park. It was a regular, like, small amusement park with some rides, and they had a roller coaster, and then they actually have a very, very old roller coaster. That's probably one of the reasons why the place never really got shut down, because the American coaster enthusiasts have been help restoring that coaster and stuff, and it's pretty rough because it's the old track and a lot of that, and they try to keep it as what it was like years ago. So if we get out to there, I'll make sure I at least video it or possibly go live just so you can see. But now they actually made it more like a park and kept some of the popular rides, and they have a water park area, and you just pay as you go on the different stuff. But that's pretty much it. I will be doing a pin review at another time, just until I get all my pins gathered. I did buy pins while I was on my trip. That can be a pretty, depending on how many new pins or different things that come out. But I'll show you a couple of them. I just usually try to pick some favorite ones that I like. I bought the Alien Swirling Saucer one because I have the other two of the Slinky Dog Dash and Toy Story Land that I had bought. Last year when I went at the end of July, I bought those two pins and had to decide which pins I wanted to get. So I got those ones, and I decided I would get this particular one. And some of these I picked up at Cast Connections, and some actually at the park and used my annual pass discount. This one I got at the Cast Connections. It's from the Flower and Garden Festival. It was a limited release one that they put out. So I usually, then sometimes when I'm at Cast Connections or even at the Character Warehouse, I will pick up some trader type ones. This one I'll keep for my collection, and I have to find my lanyard that I have various ones because I've had that. I've been going to Disney. I was a cast member back in the '90s for the started off at the college program, and then I stayed on for 2 years, and I actually worked at the then MGM Studios, and now it's Hollywood Studios. And being a cast member there, it kind of was. I have pins from whenever pin trading actually started back in the '90s. So, and then I also, every once in a while, depending on when I come at different trips, this one I picked up at the Cast Connections is the Caribbean Beach Resort. This is one of the resorts that we kind of like to stay at when we would stay on property. So I picked that one up because I've stayed there many times. I pretty much stayed at almost all the resorts, except minus some of the DVC resorts and the Grand Floridian. I haven't gone there yet. I had a chance to stay at the Grand Floridian. Sorry that this keeps falling over. I had stayed at the almost stayed at the Grand Floridian, but it was the same year that the Bay Lake Towers had opened, and I had a special, and I decided to see if the special would go because it was like my birthday, and they offered me like a discount code, and it just happened to be when the Bay Lake Towers opened, and I asked and said, hey, could I get a room there? So I ended up, instead of staying at the Grand Floridian, staying at the brand new Bay Lake Towers. And I thought, hey, that's great because it was a brand new room and everything, and I ended up with a Magic Kingdom view room. So that was really nice, and it was just for one night because it was the last night I was in Disney. So the rest of the trip I had stayed at Pop Century, but then when I had a chance to use that discount, I switched resorts and stayed at Bay Lake Tower. Well, I actually had a reservation for the Grand Floridian and instead stayed at the Bay Lake Tower and hung out there most of the day and went into the park, and then actually went back to my room and enjoyed the Magic Kingdom view and watched the fireworks from my studio room at Bay Lake Tower. That's the one thing I always said I kind of wish I would have bought into the DVC resorts when it first opened, and now I just kind of contemplate, but for a while there I had a hiatus of not being at Disney because of other opportunities to travel. I really like mission trips, and I had a chance to go to Zimbabwe, Africa for a mission trip and some sightseeing and stuff. One of these days I'll have to maybe try to get my pictures off and put them on video or something, and people can see that, or at least show the picture book that we had. And then I also had a chance to go to England for a John Wesley Heritage Tour. I am Methodist, and that was one of the things that I really wanted to do was at least a chance to go to England, and it was a good tour, and we actually went all over England, so it was a great tour to actually join. Oh yeah, I said that That is so true, Myers and the Mouse, that going overseas and seeing, the various stuff. And I've also been out west a little bit, and in the early 2000s, when I started working at the company I was at, I actually been out to Las Vegas. And since I was close to California, I thought about driving over to Disneyland, but I actually got a good deal on a flight to Los Angeles from Las Vegas, and decided I would fly in, do Disneyland, and then leave later that night to come back to Las Vegas. And so I did, and this is before the Disney California Adventures actually opened, so they just had the one park. And I flew in and saw Disneyland, and I haven't been able to get back since they done that, but since seeing a lot of the different streams and different live streams and videos and stuff, I really would love to get back to California. I decided to pick up this one, which is the partner statue pin. I so that this one I would wanted to put that into my collection. I kind of look around because they also have one. One of these days, I know like Pepper Tree Villa showed a lot of their stuff. I actually have a couple statues from when I worked at the now Hollywood Studios. When they had the animation studios, they actually had their store where the launch bay is, had different animator stuff. And I have and other people may have either a picture or drawing. I actually have a figurine of Mickey sitting at a desk, and it's actually painting Walt type of thing, figurine. So one of these days I'll have to show all of that. I saw this one too. That it was Fantasmic. I got this at the Cast Connections. On their pin rack, they had a few other ones. They also had a lot of marathon pins. I was gonna pick up some, but to use as traders, or if somebody else wanted them or something. But then I decided, I wasn't sure what the prices were, but I think they were fairly a good price. But then I decided, I was like, I'll just hold off and just get ones that I really want. A lot of times when I buy the pins now, I basically get ones that I know I want to keep, then trade them. But then sometimes if you're at the Character Warehouse, or like I said, I have a chance to go to Cast Connections through my cousin or my niece, and I'll pick up trader pins there and look around and trade with the cast members at various parks, or just check out their pin boards at various places. I picked up Jiminy Cricket. I'll have to check my lanyard because I'm not sure if I ever got one, but since I was kind of contemplating, I decided to pick up Jiminy Cricket because he's one of the characters that I really like, and you don't really get to see him that often unless you happen to be at Animal Kingdom around Earth Day. So that's when he gets to come out, or if they do some type of special character palooza or character type of thing. But I don't think you really get to see Jiminy Cricket too much. I also have a Jiminy Cricket plush that I had gotten. In fact, a lot of the plush that I have were from when I worked at Disney World as a cast member, and then just picking them up along the way. And then I seen this one too at the Cast Connections, Disney's Typhoon Lagoon. That was the first water park that Disney, besides River Country, but this was the first modern type of water park. And I really liked Typhoon Lagoon. I liked going to Blizzard Beach too, since they've opened that. But I picked up the Typhoon Lagoon one, so that was nice. And then I picked up the Steamboat Willie Mickey pin. So yeah, I kept contemplating. You look at the prices like, do I need another pin or whatever? But that was another one that I wanted to have for my collection. Was the Steamboat Willie. And then this was at Cast Connections, and I've also seen these at the Character Warehouse. This was the Navi River Journey from Pandora. So I picked that up. It was a pretty good price at the Cast Connections, and I've also seen people's videos at the Character Warehouse that had some pins from Pandora. Yeah, the Steamboat Willie was one of the ones that I was contemplating. In fact, I ended up buying it one of the last days that I was there because I was like, I'd see it, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then a couple of times I went into one, and I'm like, oh, I don't see it or whatever. And I ended up finding it the last night at the Magic Kingdom, so I grabbed it. And then I do like Figment. That's always been something. So they did have a couple other ones that I wanted, but this one was a fairly reasonable price. So I picked up Figment at the. I was at the World of Disney and saw that. So this is an Epcot one with Figment. Like I said, my first trip ever to Disney was when Epcot was open, the first year it opened, and I was pretty much hooked then. And that was, like I said, 1980, the summer of 1982, and then we went back in '83, and then after I graduated high school, we were back one year. It was around the 4th of July in '85, 86, I believe, because it was in between. And I was hooked then and started looking into the college program and stuff. And I had graduated college in 1989 and went and applied for the college program. Did that, and then they had a new program, which that's probably why they extend a lot of the college kids nowadays. But it wasn't really an extension, but they had called it like a career start program, and I stayed on and did that from the end of August till right after New Year's, and then I stayed for a whole year, living in the Orlando area, and I was pretty much hooked. The only problem was my family was still back here, and it's not that I didn't know other people or anything like that, but it just made it a little bit difficult. And I just decided that that it was just best to like come home, try to get maybe someday get back or whatever. But at this point, I'm not in a position to kind of go back yet, so never know. But I've been on many trips to Disney. Probably the first time I actually stayed on property was in 1994. And in those days, in the early 90s, when they started offering it was called Disney Food and Fun packages, and we decided we would do that. And it was kind of like what the deluxe plan offers you, but also they also had a part where you got the fun part of it in, where you could rent bikes or the boats, the water mice that they have now, and you got like a free half hour of the water mice, or they also had a couple times they didn't have the water mice in stock, so we would get one of the pontoon boats depending on where we were staying. And that year we stayed at the beach club, and when I worked at Disney, the beach club and yacht club had just opened, the one in December. And I remember like, oh, that no, like everybody knows how close it is to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. And it was, one of the reasons why I like the Epcot area hotel resorts is you can walk into the back of Epcot. It'll be interesting when the Skyliner opens, where that, how the crowds will be in the back gate area there. Because I know people like, you just waltz in, and I still do that if I'm out in the World Showcase, rather than walk all the way back up to the front to the bus stops. I will go out the back and hop on a bus to depending on where I'm going. I know in the days of the 90s and 2000s, a lot of times I was heading over to, of course, it was Downtown Disney and and Pleasure Island was there, so I would be heading to the Comedy Warehouse or the Adventures Club anyway sometimes, and just hop on there and go out the back. And it was a lot easier than being way back in the back of the park and having to walk all the way up to the front to the buses. But there were other times that it was just you walk up front because you're tired and ready to go back to the resort. But that was pretty much all the merchandise. I'll give you a quick overview of the merchandise here, and so you can just see some of the items. And then I will probably go ahead and end the stream. Oop. Sorry. I will have to. Oop. I will show you a quick overview of some of the merchandise of t-shirts, the snacks. My niece picked up a Banshee. I have a Haunted Mansion type of pop figure. And I got the Illuminations Magic Band, the Farewell Magic Band. I haven't hooked it up yet because I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet with that. But that's pretty much it. Thank you for joining. If you are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And I do thank all of you for joining. And just look for some other live streams or look for the different videos that I will be putting out and everything. Hello, the friendly gamer. And hello, win or lose scratch cards with Nikki. Hello, Colton. The name AJC Magic TV. I'm Amy. The J and the C are my niece Jolene and Colton. They're actually more of the kind of the technical people. A lot of times, sometimes they'll be with me on the stream if we're in a park or something, and sometimes if we're revealing stuff, they'll help do that because we've done like a mini Lego type of reveal, or we might be in the Disney store and they'll hold up the merchandise and stuff. They are under 18, so I don't. They don't like to be on screen too much, and I'm usually careful about having 18 and younger, even though they're teenagers. And I know there's a few teenagers out there that are YouTubers and stuff, but I'm just careful about having children on the stream unless they have permission from their parents and stuff like that. But that's what the AJC means. I'm Amy. There's Jolene and Colton. And like I said, sometimes they're actually either on the stream with me, or they may be holding the camera, or they might be pointing out some of the merchandise and stuff. So they kind of help with the technical part of it. We will probably go to Steeler Camp because they'll be starting up training camp, and we might have a few videos from there just kind of giving an overview of where the Pittsburgh Steelers do their training camp. And I may have a small stream from PNC Park this evening. A lot of times I have to be careful because I've done a couple streams from PNC Park, and of course I get I'm not monetized, so I'm not too worried about it, but I'll get a strike about copyrights and stuff. Yeah, thanks, Myers and the Mouse. Yes, especially if you're Patriot fans. I know people around here. I do have a good friends that are Patriot fans, so they get a lot of ribbing from us Steeler fans. I've grown up here in the Western Pennsylvania side, so the Steelers, even though they have their ups and downs and problems like some other teams. Okay, you're from Kansas City there, yes. The Chiefs. Yeah, we usually have a rough time against the Chiefs too when we play. Hello, the Lynn Project. Thank you for joining. My name is Amy. I'm from AJC Magic TV. Please make sure you like the stream, hit the like button, and share out. Or if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. That would be very helpful. Oh yes, it's always a good game. For a while there, I did work at the stadium. Yeah, Greg, I think the Steeler fans might be a little afraid of the Browns this year with some of their pickups, but we'll see what happens whenever the actual season starts. So, hello, Penguins Master. Thank you for joining. I was just kind of showing the merchandise I had picked up at Disney World last year. That's why it's called the Disney Merchandise Hall, or about a couple weeks ago. So I'll pick up my camera here, but you can see some of the things, various Disney snacks that I picked up around World Showcase Lagoon in England. A couple candy things from the confectionery store at the Magic Kingdom. I have a Banshee. It's actually orangish color one. I haven't taken it out of the bag yet because I still got to read how you figure it out, how to get it all set up. My niece had picked that up at Cast Connections. She had gotten 2 of them, one for her family, and then they decided that they didn't need 2 of them, so my sister asked if I wanted one. And I always wanted to get one whenever it was the high price, but it's yes, Greg, it was very nice to meet you. When I do a solo trip, I will always be looking for people who are in the park, and if they want to hang out, we'll definitely hang out. Yeah, I do apologize because it's kind of hard when you have your family and stuff, and they're not used to meeting different people. So, but I do appreciate that you actually came over to the Magic Kingdom, even though it was raining that day, and to say hello. And we got to hang out for the 15 minutes as they were in the PhilharMagic. And I picked up a few t-shirts, one for my mom. I picked up a Spirit jersey at the Character Warehouse. A polo shirt. I really like wearing polo shirts in the summertime and different years, so that's kind of nice. I usually will buy packs of pens for various people that I know that use a lot of pens. They're always a great thing. Thank you for joining Dole Whip Dad. I do appreciate that. Have a good day. Have a good Saturday. And then I had gotten a beach towel that has Mickey heads from the Animal Kingdom, but I actually picked that up at the Cast Connections. And a cooling towel and just various things. The Magic Band. I also have an ornament from the Epcot Forever. And I do have the Epcot Forever annual pass holder pin, and I do have a regular one, but I have it somewhere else, and I didn't grab it for the stuff. So that's pretty much it of everything that I wanted to feature. So I do thank you all. See you, Jeff. Thank you for joining. I do thank you all for joining the stream. Just make sure, please, like I said, like the stream. Um, and for anyone who actually watches the replay, please leave a comment if you like. Hit the like button. And if you are new to the stream, please subscribe to our channel, as we, like everybody else, would like to try and grow. So, so I do thank you all for coming. Anybody have questions or anything? For myself or anything like that. I do plan on coming down to Disney when Galaxy's Edge opens. Thank you very much, Duke Family Chronicles. Thank you for joining. Yeah, so I'm going to be getting ready to head out myself, as I'm going to be getting ready to go down to PNC Park for a little bit. It is very hot here in Pittsburgh, but the Pirates play today, and so a friend of mine had an extra ticket, so I'm going to go down, at least collect the bobblehead that they have. A lot of times, if it's really hot, and they didn't want it to go to waste, so at least they could pick it up, and I'll watch a couple innings. So I'll see you later, Penguins Master. I do thank you all for joining. This is so I will go ahead and end the stream. That way you all can go about your day. So, oh yes, I definitely will come by and see you. So you're actually, yes, tonight is 1979 night. So Myers and the Mouse, you will be in Disney in August, or you're actually going to be at PNC Park? But yes, when I do get down to Orlando, okay, yes, when I'm in, down at Walt Disney World in August, yes, I plan on meeting a lot of different people. I'll have to either try and watch streams or at least get good pictures of everyone, so I know whenever I'm wandering the parks to say hello. I know at Galaxy's Edge, in the lawns, there'll be a bunch of other YouTubers and stuff, but there are a few that I want to catch up to that I didn't get to meet when I was down at the end of June. I did get to meet Corey Meets World, like at the beginning of his stream, right before he was going to do the Beverly Challenge. So I'm kind of glad I met him, because before that, but it was kind of a quick thing, so that was the only drawback there. But after hearing that he wasn't feeling so well afterwards, I'm kind of glad I met him when I did. But it was like right at the beginning of his stream. I did meet Greg. I also got to meet John and Dana from Touring the Galaxy. So yes, I will definitely look out for you guys. I do want to meet as many as possible, and catch up with, at least say hi to Josh and Jenna, and all their different friends too. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I do thank everyone for joining. Please subscribe if you're new. Please hit the like button, and have a great afternoon and great Sunday for the rest of the weekend. So, oh yes, I do like meeting various people in the parks. Throughout the late 90s and 2000s, I still belong to another Disney community that gets together in December, and I have done scavenger hunts with them, and they used to do some big meets outside of the International Gateway, and they actually got big enough where they actually had a small mini convention on one of the days, and now it's kind of scaled back, but sometimes they'll all get to meet, and they'll do meals or
rides together and just give different times of, hey, we're going to have a Dole Whip break, meet us here at such and such a time. And I've done that before, so I don't have a problem meeting various people. Sometimes it's hard when I'm with my family because for them they're not used to meeting different people and stuff. So, but I'll be solo at that on in August. So I do plan on meeting various different people. So yes, I definitely will. So thank you all for being here, and have a great afternoon and evening, and have a great Sunday. I will see you later. Bye.